All of us have seen those lists of Freemasons who were presidents of the United States. Altogether now, let's name them. There are 14. Washington, Monroe, Jackson, Polk, Buchanan, Andrew Johnson, Garfield, McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, Taft, Harding, Franklin Roosevelt, Truman, and Ford. But is that list complete? Or are there as many as 3 more men who should be part of that exclusive group? Think back to the first time you heard someone address you as brother. It was right after you took your obligation as an entered apprentice. That's right, an entered apprentice is, without question, a Freemason. And on October 30th, 1937, Lyndon Baines Johnson took that obligation. Even as an entered apprentice, LBJ was a Freemason and belongs on the list. Then there is the mostly overlooked case of the man who, on February 11th, 1795, received a letter from John Francis Mercer, Governor of Maryland, who said, "I have had no opportunity of congratulating you before on your becoming a Freemason, a very ancient and honorable fraternity." He sent it to the man who would become the 4th President of the United States, James Madison. Not only that, but John Dove, an early Grand Secretary of the Grand Lodge of Virginia, said Madison was one of the original founders of Hiram Lodge 59 in 1800 and became a charter member. William R. Denslow, in his iconic book 10,000 Famous Freemasons, also suggests Madison was a member of that lodge. Unfortunately, the lodge became dormant in 1814 and its records were lost. Perhaps most telling, however, were the attacks made on Madison during the anti-Masonic period. It's safe to conclude just about the only thing not confirmed about the Masonic status of James Madison, most likely brother James Madison, is the name of his original lodge. In addition to Madison and Johnson, we have the odd case of a brother whose Masonic status is not in doubt, but his presidential status is. Riding along the winding back roads of northwest Missouri, about a half hour from my home, I sometimes stop at an old cemetery just outside Plattsburgh. Right inside the entrance is a series of arrows pointing to a specific grave. That grave has a compelling brass marker which proclaims the man buried there was President of the United States for one day, March 4th, 1849. The town also has a towering statue of the man proclaiming his presidency. On occasion, I've even gone up the road across the Missouri River and visited the world's smallest presidential library, which was built in his honor. The library is located in Atchison, Kansas, which was named after the man, David Rice Atchison. Senator David Rice Atchison, a member of Platt Lodge No. 56 in Missouri, was President pro tem of the United States Senate when Zachary Taylor was elected president. Inauguration Day in 1849 fell on a Sunday, and the devout Taylor refused to attend his swearing-in on the Sabbath, rescheduling it for the following day. Taylor's vice president, Millard Fillmore, followed suit, and James K. Polk's term had expired the previous day, technically leaving the presidency vacant. Constitutionally, Atchison was next in line for the office. Hearing this quirky bit of news, Atchison's friend, Judge Willie Magnum, and a group of others descended on Atchison's house and tramped up to his bedroom in the middle of the night. There, With the confused Atchison in his nightgown, Judge Magnum administered the oath of office. Brother Atchison went back to sleep and spent the bulk of his presidency resting and reading in his home. Historians almost universally agree that Atchison was not officially the president. It is also true, however, that neither the outgoing President James K. Polk nor Taylor were president on March 4th. Duly inaugurated, who better than Brother Atchison to fill the gap? If you're not willing to agree that he was at least ex officio president, just don't mention it around Atchison, Kansas, or Plattsburgh, Missouri. So there you have it. Depending on your acceptance of historical facts, suppositions, and a little truth stretching, perhaps our lists of Masonic presidents should include 17 names, with maybe an asterisk beside those of Lyndon Johnson, James Madison, and David Rice Atchison. For the Whence Came You podcast, I'm Steve Harrison with the Masonic Minute.